What's up, folks? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Today's video, we're going to be doing a kind of account review, account takeover on Raftar's account here. He's a cluster mate of mine, and he's just looking to really push his account to the next level. So I'm here to basically offer him some tips and guidance on what he can do to achieve what he wants to achieve, which is basically just move on to the next step. He's mentioned things like Hydra, Arena. So yeah, we're talking some more end game stuff here, but we'll take a look at his account and see what we can do with it. But before we jump into that, let's have a quick word from our sponsor. Hey everyone, I'm here to talk to you guys about Age of Empires Mobile. It's a medieval war strategy game based around the Age of Empires lineage. I think you guys are going to really enjoy the strategic and tactical part about this game. Right now, it's currently available for free, downloadable from the Apple Store and the Google Play Store. Age of Empires is co-developed by Microsoft and Teamy Studio Group. This translates into a pretty solid product, bringing high quality graphics as well as well-developed landscapes, characters, and historic civilizations based around realism. So what's not to like about that? As for the game mode, you can battle with others to win with your strategic thinking and tactical skills. You can also immerse yourself in the large-scale war and siege battles. The experience can be overwhelming, so make sure you're prepared. First, the cast of heroes is just massive. There's over 100 famous historical characters in the game. Make sure you carefully consider how to strategically place the groups, the skills, the relationship restraints, and of course, work with your allies to defeat your enemies. All this translates into an extremely immersive experience. In addition, if you have additional time to kill, there's also many mini games available as well. Age of Empires' first major update was just released, so make sure you guys check out the game by using the download link in the description and the pinned comments, and you'll pick up some additional free goodies. I think you guys will enjoy it. All right, so let's take a quick look at what Raftar is working with here. So let's check out how many shards he's got. He's got plenty of shards. He's got 15 sacred shards, 16 voids, and 58 ancients. In terms of fragments, yep, he has a couple Legos to pull. So honestly, any champion chase for a fusion or anything like that he wants to do, he can definitely handle. Doesn't look like he's going for the Mad Hatter right now, so it's not fusions are not super top priority for him, I guess, or he just doesn't have the time. In terms of his progression, he's been playing since 2022, so he's between two and a half, 3 year player. He's finished his, I believe he's finished his, yep, he's finished all his Visix stuff. And then he's finished all his free login champions. So that means he's at least, what, 660 days into the game, I believe. That's how long it takes you to get the last one. So, pretty seasoned veteran here. He's level 94. So he's not like particularly like super grind or anything like that. But he definitely just, still consistently plays the game and all that. Let's check out his champions here real quick. He mentioned that he did spend a little bit of money. He's a light spender. It's nothing crazy. We can just check out his box here real quick, separating by, let's go, mythicals and legendaries. He has 114 legendaries and mythicals. He's pulled Mesomole. Mesomole is good. He's good, not bad, but not like insanely good or anything like that. He has him in what? This is his gear set. He's looking at four-piece stone skin. Not super impressive, kind of like mid-game-ish kind of build. I mean, he has a crit capped with decent speed, and he's just doing his best with the crit damage and the attack. Is he fully booked? He is not fully booked. He's mastered, but not booked. Just give you an idea of how much resources he has for his characters. What has he got here with Mikage? Mikage, he is in four-piece stone skin. A little bit slow, but he's got the accuracy here. It's okay. 2-star only. Is fully booked, is booked here with masteries. War Master, interesting choice, maybe for Hydra or something like that. But yeah, if it's for Hydra, then you wouldn't be packing the stone skin here. So a little bit interesting here, but moderate speed and then decent speed on the nuker. Theodore here looks like maybe a solo build. Decent speed, got resistance, got accuracy, a little bit too much resistance, a little too little too little resistance, too much accuracy if this is for soloing. So definitely can tune this. Yes, the masteries look like a solo build, so definitely can tune this Theodore a little bit better. Triple immortal, not going to be as good as regeneration, but maybe his regeneration's gear is not up to speed. How's his Mithril doing? The 5-star blessing here, the Mithril is about 250 speed with about 575 accuracy. Total resistance about 800 or 750, no, actually 750. Low HP, Not missing the T6 here on the masteries. Not particularly impressive or anything, but moderate. So I can get a sense of what his gear levels are. Let's take a quick look at his Arbiter. Actually, he has an Odin too. That's really nice. His Arbiter is 318 speed. So his gear level is definitely, you know, a little bit in the mid late game-ish, which kind of lines up with, you know, like he's level 94. Kind of lines up with where he is in the game, right? His box is very big. Like he has a lot of stuff. 114 Legos here. There's a lot of options. So definitely, you know, probably spending money on shards and all that throughout his entire raid life. Let's see if any highlights here. He does have Newt. He has Volcanos, which is interesting. That's really, really nice. Harima is really nice, of course. Rhodos, Odin. Has Duchess, Kymar, very good. These are like super good champions, like staple champions that you use very often. Arman's great. Who else? Second Harima here. He has Heracleet, sorry. Atrunda. Okay, Atrunda as well. He's got the He-Man, Sir Nick, Ancora, Sir Nick. Couple little dupes there. Double Wukong. That means he must have triple Wukong. Yep, he has triple Wukongs. Let's see what else. What else? Yeah, I mean, yeah, the ones that are not leveled up seem to be, you know, good choices to probably leave not leveled up. Let's see what his main damage dealers are. Thor looks fine. I mean, he's crit capped, he has accuracy, he has damage. So he knows how to build champions. He knows how to build a nuker at least, right? He knows how to build a nuker. What's this? His Duchess in a 4-piece stone skin, relatively fast, higher HP than his Mithrala, for example. So he knows he's trying to aim for HP, but maybe his gear is holding him back a little bit here. So defense, yeah. He doesn't have all the ascensions, so he hasn't been grinding the energy in there. He does have a Newt. All he needs really is a Neri, and he has a team for Sand Devil already. A couple Geomancers here, Demitha as well. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we can definitely do a lot with this, but it honestly comes down to gear. How much gear does he have to make some of these things work? I see Godseeker Neri here, so he must use Sand Devil's Godseeker Neri with one of the damage dealers to clear Sand Devil, which is perfectly fine. And yeah, he has lots of tools here. I mean, he has Odin for arena, he has Harima for arena, Rhodos, Mesimo you can definitely use as well. Pack in the Newt for PvE content. Podrig here. But yeah, I think it's the gear that's going to hold him back a little bit here. 6-piece stone skin. I mean, he even has the 6-piece stone skin UDK slow, and that's the way you're supposed to build him. So it looks great. I mean, he has the good general idea. He has Mishinaki here as well for Hydra. That's going to do really well. He has Trunda for Hydra as well. But generally Trunda works best when she has a good team around her. She's not going to be able to maximize her damage if she doesn't have like basically, you know, reduction, you know, cooldown reduction champions around her, or like ways to buff up her damage, for example. But yeah, this she doesn't look like she's ready to go here with the Merciless set not being fully leveled up. I do see a Seer as well. Oh, the Seer is a little bit on the slow side, and a little bit, I mean, it probably works, but no Savage gear. Crushing Rend on a 3-star. Yeah, okay. Helm Smasher probably should take Flawless Execution, just because your crit damage is a little bit low. But yeah, let's take a look elsewhere and see what we're working with here. Quickly hopping over to the the Forge here. See, pretty maxed out Magi Steel. We just had CVC, which means that he hasn't been crafting. Definitely craft stuff just to lower some of these Magi Steels. You never want to be capped out and then start losing Magi Steel. Holy cow, 900 pieces there. 800 pieces here. This is all gear for you, man. This is all gear. Let's go. It's all gear for you, man. It's actually all silver too. I'm gonna give you a boatload of silver. Like Guardian gear, if you don't have regen gear, Guardian gear is pretty good. No lethal gear. Wow, 300 pieces of instant gear. Like, you know, I'm seeing nukers with, you know, no savage gear. I'm seeing nukers with single cruel pieces. Like this is it. You got 300 pieces of instant gear here. You gotta get cracking, man. You gotta get cracking. Like spend the weekend, spend a couple hours, just sit down and just do this. It's probably not that fun if you're playing on mobile. I'm not sure if you're a mobile player, but it's probably not that fun. But this is all your gear here, right? So bolster, nothing, nothing, nothing. Okay, yeah, but yeah, 300 pieces. You gotta get on this. This is a it's a good set. Speed and ignore defense. So definitely get on that. Let's see what the Gray Hall looks like. He's working on it. It's probably casual working on it, right? He's been playing for like I would say probably 2.5 years. I believe I finished my Gray Hall around 2 years, so it does take and that's consistently grinding. So he's more than halfway. And he's spread out his love a little bit here, but it's good to see that he's got some gold in some key areas like accuracy and crit damage here. This one's a little interesting defense, but maybe it has defense based spirit. I'm not too sure. Interesting to go 10 on attack before 10 on crit damage. That's probably one that you probably want back, maybe. But yeah, generally correct. In terms of arena battles, he's doing okay, but he can definitely increase his arena battles so that he can speed up the progression on his Great Hall. Let's check out his resources here. He's got good amount epic books and a good amount enough legendary books and enough mythical books. So he's definitely doing fine. He's doing fine. He's holding on to resources pretty good. He's got a lot of chickens. Yeah, he's good. He's got a lot of chickens to keep him afloat here. So it looks good. It looks fine. 55 million silver, which is okay. But yeah, all you gotta do is hit the forge and you got many tens of millions flowing in. So that's all you really have to do there. 13,000 gems. So that's good stash of resources. How's his inbox looking? Lots of stuff. Yep, he has lots of stuff. You can easily just grind all this stuff, all this energy. This stuff's going to expire soon, so make sure you use it. But he's going to grind all this energy. You can turn that into gear. You can go into the pinpoint, event dungeon and grind some of that up. Where is he at? He's at 26. At 26, running Newt. I think the problem for him would be gear. The problem with him would be gear. Yeah, it would probably be gear. Okay, let's check out his other spots. Unfortunately, yeah, it's gonna be very gear intensive. Let's shape up his other dungeons first, and then see if we can work on the other areas here. Does he have Artac? He does have Artac. So he's running the Seer. Yeah, I mean this team can definitely work for Ice Golem. So I think he has the right idea. What's his Artac look like? He's too slow, accuracy too high, resistance too low for hard 10. You want him closer to 250 speed, you want him closer to 430 resistance, and then you want the accuracy lower, closer to 300. So you probably just have to swap this like a resistance chest, and then you'll be fine. But yeah, this type of team works exactly fine. It's just gonna come down to gear. So looks like he has the right idea for the Ice Golem. For Spider, 29 seconds here. He can farm one food. So what actually he farms 2 foods here. It's actually kind of interesting. Let me see a run here. How does this work? I guess he's running decreased defense, weaken, and then he's going for maybe he was testing something. No, this can't be a team. No. This can't be a team. Okay, I'm not too sure. Maybe he's running a lower level with this this squad here. But yeah, with your guys, you definitely have a spider team. It just really depends what you want to use. I think you probably use the Newt, which makes sense. You're definitely going to be running HP burn team maybe. I see Theodore, Drang, and Artax. Those 3 could be like, like HP burn team with your Newt, and then maybe like one more max HP guy like Roll Guard or or husk or whatever, like those 5 should get you a very fast spider team, 5-turn spider team, like 12 seconds or something. I would definitely look into that. Not super crazy high gear intensive, and you should be able to hit that pretty well. Drang with the irresistible HP burn is really good as well for the 100%. So like I was saying, like we take apart this team here, it would probably look something like this guy, and then probably Rogard. Yeah, something like this. And then you could probably do the spider very, very quickly. You open with the newt, and then you go HP burn, activate, and then slam, and then he's dead. So very consistent. Spider's at 245 speed, so you need everybody over 245 speed going before the spider goes, and then you're all good. So that's going to be the spider there. For dragon, you got 37-second team, so that's really good. Looks like you got the right idea here. Theodore and Mithral to kill at the end. Typically against the Fire Knight, you're really looking for decreased speed, increased turn meter on your team for the fight. So like, for example, you're looking for a decreased speed champion. You don't have too many, which kind of sucks. Just looking here, like Ruella can work. Just looking here, Ruella can work. Stag Knight can work. I've used Stag Knight on hard 6 before and he works fine. About it from your stash here. I think I would look into Stag Knight. So what you would do is probably run. You probably would run something like no Mikage, no this guy. Probably run something like this with Stag Knight, and then maybe somebody like Cold Heart. Cold Heart would probably get in here. Cold Heart. Yeah. Oh, your Cold Heart is 50. Okay, so you need your Cold Heart to be 60. But yeah, something like this would probably work. Yeah, increase speed, decrease speed. You have stuff to help you for the waves. I guess you're having some issues, just like stats and stuff. But yeah, 60, and then this type of team could probably get through the Fire Knight. And of course, Odin could be something else as well. Odin could be a lot of different type of champions. Increased turn meter would be good if you had anything like that. So fill turn meter. Let's see here. Increase turn meter. What do you have for options here? Could go like, I guess Podrick brings turn meter instead of Odin. If you could bring like a damage dealer that could speed it up against 6. But I guess Odin's pretty good in that he can bring a revive, plus he has CC as well. So a team like this kind of works, right? Because you bring decreased speed and decreased defense, and then you bring the multi-hits, max HP hit with the newt as well. So I think a team like this could speed it up for you. But it seems like you're doing okay, but you want to finish off 6 here. So I think you might need a team like the one that I suggested. I think that should be good. Another possible team that you could try for Fire Knight is actually teams revolving around Helicath and counterattacking, but might need some specific builds here. I'm not too sure what your Helicath looks like. What's your Helicath look like? Merciless? Actually not too bad. I mean, not too bad. It's pretty quick. But I would say Hellcat's probably less consistent. If you're relying on the get hit strategy, you need some pretty good teams to make that work. So I would probably just rely on the ally attack with the Stag Knight and the Cold Heart type team. Level 25, 55 seconds with the Ninja and the Godseeker. That's great. Newt is faster. So if you trade Ninja for Newt, Newt is faster by a little bit versus Ninja. So maybe something you want to look into. Just want to double check your near speed here. Looks about right. 210. It should be like pretty plug and play. We're gonna do a quick run here. Plug and play. This Newt should be okay. Let's have a quick go here. Should be okay. Actually, he might need food. Where's his Godseeker? Okay. Yeah, he might need to put some food in this. So we'll just do that for him. Let's sub out Ninja for Newt and see if it actually works. I think Newt would be faster, but his Ninja at 55 seconds is pretty quick. All right, let's have a quick look. All right, everybody dies. Neri revives. Newt gets the hit in. He's definitely not capping out. Those are some pretty weak hits. Okay, since the Newt is pretty weak in terms of not being able to cap out his slams, Ninja might actually be better because Ninja's, just easier to gear out for max damage, right, against the boss. You just need the accuracy, and then all the burns are always doing the same amount of damage. For Newt, you do need him to have pretty good gear to cap out, right? Like he's not capping out, so it's not going to be faster than the Ninja most likely. But yeah, let's finish this off here. Let's see how fast it can go. Yeah, 55 seconds. Usually with Newt, it's like 90 seconds pretty consistently, or at least the one that I have on my alt account. Pretty consistent. Yeah. That's okay. That's okay. That's why probably Ninja. But yeah, 55-second Ninja is pretty good. So no real complaints there. I noticed a lot of gear is not ascended. So you probably need to look into doing that just to add some stats to your gear. Although I think your gear is probably not good enough to warrant overcommitting to it. That's one of the things where, people probably just shouldn't focus too much on Sand Devil. I noticed you got some speed boots with ascended speed. That's good. Thumbs up, right? But yeah, maybe this account's not ready for like full-time Sand Devil stuff, right? Anyways, we're gonna finish off this run here. Really, yeah, a little bit on the slow side for sure. It's gonna take one more bash, just over 2 minutes here. Finish this up. We'll get the Ninja back going on. All right, finishing up here. There we go. All right, 216. Yeah, it's because he's not capped out, right? That's a little bit of a problem. That's okay. Let's check out. Let's fix his team here real quick. Get the Ninja back in. Ninja. All right, let's move on. How's his Shogun looking? Shogun, he's got a minute team. Interesting team, but if he's got a minute team, it's probably fine. Shogun's just one of those dungeons you don't do too much. Let's have a quick look at his clan boss. I think his clan boss should be no problem here. Raftar. What is this? Raftar. 1 key. Oh, perfect. Demitha team. Perfect. Hydra. Okay, here we go. Hydra. What are you doing for Hydra, bud? You got a 1 key nightmare with Senna, Thor, Mishinaki, and 130. Great. That's a very good key. That's a good key for Nightmare. That's good. Nothing to complain about. What's this going on here? Brutal. Nothing for Brutal. And nothing for Hard yet. So I think we want to make a team for Brutal and Hard. So let's see here. What is he working with? He's got a Hard team. He's got Harima there. Theodore, Wukong, Duchess, Artak. So like you're not really pumping insane amounts of damage here. But the Harima's good. Unfortunately, you took Mishinaki with the Mikage. Can your Nightmare team improve? Thor is a good unit for this team. Do you have a Hex in that team? I assume you would have Hex. Considering you were doing that level of damage. You have Provoke on the Ostrid. Okay. Senna has no Hex. Okay. Who has the Hex? Ugo? No. Nobody has Hex? If nobody has Hex, you definitely want Hex. Oh, sorry, Mishinaki. Okay, so Mishinaki is the Hex champion. Okay. You have Heaven Cast on Mishinaki, so you definitely want to change that to Nature's Wrath for Mishinaki. Change him to Nature's Wrath. Ugo, you want somebody in Cruelty, sorry. So you probably want Eostrid with Cruelty or Ugo with Cruelty. Eostrid and Ugo probably about the same, but I think Eostrid probably takes more turns, so Cruelty application is a little bit easier. But definitely change up Mishinaki to Nature's Wrath. You're going to do more damage that way pretty easily. For a hard team, I'm just going to quickly look over this and see if I can pump out a couple teams for you that I would suggest working with. Okay, so just having a quick look here. I think the Nightmare team is actually okay. It kind of hits everything that you want. The Provoke is a little bit sketchy because you only have it on the Eostrid. But otherwise, I think it's okay. Like I said, Mishinaki, Blessing Change, Ugo, Blessing Change to Cruelty. And yeah, you can probably pump out a little bit more damage, but I think it's probably okay. I wouldn't do too many changes here. The big problem here I find is that you probably could remove Ugo for somebody else. Because Ugo's only bringing really block buffs here because you have Mishinaki here for the decreased defense. So what I would consider doing is maybe bring Wukong over to Ugo's spot. Because Wukong will bring a steal, plus he'll bring the block buffs. And that's, that's fine. That's going to be fine. You're going to have 3 damage dealers. Wukong's going to have the plus attack from Eostrid and Mikage. And you're going to be doing more damage than having Ugo there. You don't really need the heals because you have the TM boost heal from Eostrid, and then you have continuous heals from the Senna. Also, Wukong doesn't need survivability anyways. So yeah, I think adding Wukong would be the only thing I would really change to this team, and then let it run. It'll run fine, probably better. As the good thing about that is that it frees up Ugo. So Ugo can now go into your brutal or hard team, I guess, but it would go into one of your other teams, basically. Because on your hard team, you have no decreased defense, and that's a really tough thing to not have. And obviously, you have champions that do damage like Wukong and Harima, and this team doesn't have decreased defense, so that's a pretty big negative. Another champion I would definitely lean on a little bit maybe would be Odin, because Odin does bring decreased defense as well, and he does actually have a pretty good hitting ability with his A3. So he could actually be useful here as well. But if you plan to break the Ugo off from this team, now you have 3 decreased defense champions. You have Mishinaki, Lydia, and then Ugo. So now you have 3 teams with decreased defense. So you won't need the Odin. So that's going to be how you're going to be building the teams here. So let's try to build like a brutal team out for you. All right, so after brainstorming a little bit, these are the 3 teams I came up with: Nightmare, Brutal, Hard, or Nightmare, Hard, Easy, or whatever. Your Nightmare team is running pretty good already, 130 mil, so that's fine. You can definitely improve it. I just basically subbed in Wukong instead of Ugo. You don't really need the Ugo there because you have the decreased defense for Mishinaki, but you still need the block buffs, so Wukong brings block buffs and a little bit of extra damage for you. After that, we have this brutal team I put together here. You really want to utilize Visix here. I can tell that by your roster and your gear, you don't have a lot of provoke gear. And you don't have a lot of provokers on your roster, so having Visix is really, really good. She brings decreased speed with the AoE provoke and the ally protection as well. This team doesn't run a reviver, but it does have a couple ways to survive. You have the Geomancer passive, which reduces damage. You have continuous healing from Podrick. You have the shields from Mithrala, and you also don't have a way to deal with Shamayo on this team. But then I've given you basically 2 cleansers and a Ugo as well. So your damage is going to come from the Newt and the Geomancer himself. You could also pitch in some damage with Visix if you want to build her out with some damage. But I think this team is pretty consistent. It covers all the bases: speed up, speed down, everything except for basically Head of Torment, 100%. Yeah, that's about it. Or 100% provoke with the Visix. But you can definitely put like provoke set on somebody else, like Geomancer for example might be okay. It does have the A1 AoE. But yeah, I think this team can handle Brutal pretty good. Newt and Geomancer still produce pretty good damage on Brutal. For hard or normal difficulty, I did opt to go for Trunda. Trunda deals tons of damage, way more damage than any other champion if you have her geared to do damage, and if she hits decapitated heads with her A2. With that being said, she still deals pretty good amounts of damage just to the heads in general. For this team here, I think for the lower difficulties, Trunda is fine. I think to maybe juggle this a little bit, I probably would sub out somebody like Molly, and then maybe use a Seeker here, and then sub out Harima and use Ninja. The reason why is because we don't have the increased attack and increased defense running the other variants with Harima and Molly. This way you can run Seeker with the A1 Provoke. He's actually a pretty decent provoker. You do have to manual him. Unfortunately, Molly's way more auto friendly, but Seeker does pretty good with the increased attack, turn meter boost, and all that. And this is pretty low difficulty. You have decreased defense and weaken from Lydia. You have the block buffs from Shayak here. And then you have Countess Licks here with like kind of a reset for Trunda. A little bit of a turn reduction for Trunda. And then she also brings decreased speed, which actually your account really, really struggles with. The other champion that I looked at for decreased speed was Mother Cybele. You could put her in a Hex set, which is probably another area that your roster really lacks, which is Hex gear. You also lack Hex champions. So in this situation, Shayak does, have some Hex synergy, but you want to have Hex gear on Countess Licks if possible. She does have 2 AoEs with Hex. You could also put, so Hex can apply through the curse set. You could put curse set on Lydia as well, or a 9-piece protection set if you have that gear. But I think for hard or normal, these 2 damage dealers with the boosted plus attack here should do pretty good for you. Anyways, give these teams a try, see how they work for you. Hopefully they can improve what you're already working with right now. Your Nightmare team looks good, looks solid. Hopefully I can help improve it a little bit. And I think this team's good enough for Brutal. Of course, it's going to come down to what you can do for gear, to be honest. Quick look here at Chimera. You have the combo here with Senna, Pardon. I mean, these 2 should be able to drive a lot of damage for you. Newt's a good choice, and then Thor is a fine choice here as well, although Thor is not going to do some insane damage for you. So for example, somebody like Geomancer might actually out damage Thor. I did playtest Thor and Geomancer in terms of damage for the higher difficulties, and Geomancer did outperform Thor, but maybe for the lower difficulties, Geomancer won't be able to. But Newt here is the primary damage dealer that works very good. I wonder how Odin works as the max HP damage dealer. I'm not too sure. That'll be interesting to see if he actually hits kind of hard with his A3. But maybe you can try Odin out, and that might actually work out for you. I didn't get a chance to try him in the Chimera boss, but you have some options, so it looks like you'll be fine with Senna and Pardon there. For other areas in the game, looks like you're doing fine in Doomtire. Doomtire just reset, but it looks like you're climbing every day. That's pretty good. Curse City, how far are you to Carnage? You're not halfway yet. So not particularly gung-ho with Cintranos. But that's fine. It's just extra resources. Make sure you pick up that merciless gear and all that stuff. Make sure you kill Amius. All right, let's check out your arena. That was a big area where you wanted some help. So you're silver 2 for tag team. I mean, tag team takes a lot of time, so that's probably the issue, that you can't, you just don't have time to deal with this. But definitely worthwhile to try to get into gold to get that sacred shard once a month. But silver's not too bad. You get the void shard here at least. But yeah, let's check out what you're packing for the arena in terms of your roster, what we can do. A lot of the time you have lots of champions. You need to focus on what you really, really need or really, really use for the arena, especially when you don't have a lot of gear. I can tell on your account you don't have a lot of gear, but you have 300 crafts of instant gear. And I guarantee you will get usable sets for your damage dealers from those 300 crafts. So make sure you craft all of those gear, and I guarantee you will get something out of it for multiple damage dealers. All right. So in terms of what you want to prioritize for the arena, you want at least 3 damage dealers so that you can have 1 damage dealer per team, 3 teams for your tag team offense and defense, at least 3 fully equipped proper damage dealers. So the first one I would probably choose is Harima. Harima does have your only Savage set on your entire account. This is actually a very fine Harima. She deals, yeah, she has good stats. She is moderate speed, and she has, you know, yeah, she has Savage. Ignore defense here. So good for you. After that, we have a 6-piece Merciless Rhodos, which is actually really solid as well. So another good candidate for your arena. So I like it. Good job there. So those two, 1-2 punch, right? 1-2 punch, very good. Wukong, okay, great. Also with the Savage and the Cruel, very nice. Decent speed. I would like him a little bit faster because he needs to go first. I guess he is a little bit faster, so he does go first. Low crit damage here, so that's not acceptable. Strength crit rate gloves, you definitely need to work on that. The Ascensions are off, but you know, that's the big thing is the crit rate gloves. You definitely want crit damage gloves so that he can hit really hard. But good for you for having the Savage and the Cruel set on the Wukong, so that's looking good. Duchess is a little bit on the slow side, to be honest. She has low resistance. I don't know if you were aiming for resistance, but yeah, resistance banner here. You probably want HP banner. Like this is fine. Like this single row speed. Stone skin? No, nothing else. I guess that's your best one. Yeah, this is probably your best one. 8,000 more HP instead of extra 90 resistance. I think that's a good trade-off. So definitely do that if you want to use your Duchess more. After that, you have Odin. Odin needs to be a little bit faster. And yeah, I mean, it is what it is. He has the 4-piece stone skin. He needs to be a bit faster. And needs some masteries too. But yeah, it looks fine. Usually you run pinpoint gear, but if you don't have pinpoint, then you know stone skin's a good alternative. So you know these are kind of like your rocks, right? Your solid champions you want to use in arena. Mikage as well, you want to use her as well. And then Mithrala can still be a pretty premium cleanser. She has good resistance and all that, so she can, you know, get a turn and then cleanse. So you can definitely use her. After that, Tormund, actually I use him a little bit. Your Tormund is a little bit slow. He has damage, which is good, and accuracy. I think this is a fine build. It's just unfortunate that you don't have the ignore defense on him, but at least you have ignore defense on your main damage dealer. So Wukong, Rhodos, and Harima. So those three, you know, definitely a solid 3, good 3 picks for live arena, for example. How is your Armands? Where is Armands? How is your Armands built? Armands is obviously one of the key champions, right? There's Armands. Stone skins, he's faster than your nukers with a little bit of accuracy. Okay, I mean, it's fine. Masteries need to be done. Get you an extra 50 accuracy. You don't have the 5-star blessing or anything. I mean, these champions are just way too slow, right? So it's gonna come down to like, yeah, they're just way too slow. You know, your Arbiter is 310. Let's have a quick look at what your top speed would be. So just quickly running the optimizer here just to see what your fastest possible speed is on your Arbiter. Your fastest possible speed on your Arbiter is 344. So your current Arbiter is 318. So you're leaving about 20 speed on the table. I'm not sure if you know that. And you spread out your gear a little bit, but this is kind of your fastest setup. You know, that's moderate, right? 344 is actually, you know, you're creeping past, you know, you're past mid-game gear levels, that's for sure. Like you have 3 champions in ignore defense. Once you have those instinct pieces, you know, crafted out, you can gear more of them, especially your secondary damage dealers. Like this Newt, he could benefit from instinct because he's not hitting the cap with his slams right now. And that's definitely going to hold you back and cost you some runs once in a while. So let's keep talking about which champions you want to focus on for the arena. So like I said, Harima, Rhodos, Wukong, very good top 3 damage dealers. Yeah, your Seer probably needs some instinct gear, some ignore defense just for clearing waves a little bit more consistently. Armands needs to be faster. Odin needs to be faster for sure. Their accuracy levels, I mean, it's fine for whatever content you're in right now. Like you're in Silver 2 tag team. You're not doing like crazy levels of content, right? Your Mesamol, she's not fully booked, so I don't know how effective she's going to be as a damage dealer. Obviously, her gear is not going to allow her to do lots of damage, unfortunately. So I don't think I would lean into her at all in terms of like, I'm just thinking like live arena picks, for example. Rathalos, he doesn't look particularly strong, and he's not particularly great arena champion. Your Thor is interesting, can be used for live arena, but he's not going to smack super hard without the ignore defense. You just don't have it here with this set. Like you have the cruel set, but it's just not enough. So I wouldn't lean on him. The top three make a lot of sense in terms of leaning on them. Python could be an option, but you got him in the 9-piece protection. It could be an option for like a support build, but this build's not for arena. If you wanted to build a 4th nuker, I would strongly consider He-Man. He-Man has a very special ability where he can actually break through Stone Skin, which is really good because everybody on the roster should have somebody to deal with Stone Skin, whether you can like strip it off or just go through it. So He-Man's a good candidate for that. He actually hits pretty hard. You do have a very good candidate with Odin because he can strip Stone Skin off. But yeah, if you wanted to build a 4th nuker to use, then He-Man would probably be my choice. If you wanted to build an additional support champion that you don't have that you want to use, I'd probably lean on Ancora. Yes, you don't have Narcisse, but Ancora is actually a really, really good champion just by herself. So Ancora here, she's pretty easy to build. She doesn't need accuracy or anything like that. You just give her like HP and speed, and then she can do really good. She's also a cleanser as well, and you don't actually run too many cleansers. You really just have Mithrala for your cleanser. You don't really have anybody else. So having Ancora built up and ready to go could give you some options there just to play around with. A couple comments here to finish up. We have the UDK. Make sure you finish this guy up in terms of levels. Masteries, I guess, is not super important. Books aren't super important on him if you're struggling for books. But yeah, this UDK is definitely usable for live arenas or any kind of arena application that you want, mainly against Rotos, of course. So yeah, it looks good there. You could also try someone like Helicath. Helicath actually is really good in the lower ranks of arena, like live arena I'm talking about, just because he's kind of hard to deal with for most people, right? The block damage is just really hard to deal with. You have him already built up, and he's already has masteries and books, so he's definitely worth using. This build is fine. You can definitely use it. The best build for him is going to be Stone Skin plus Ignore defense. He actually hits pretty hard, so if you give him like Ignore defense, he'll hit. He can wipe out a team by himself. But yeah, he's definitely somebody that you could use a little bit more often. You could even make some kind of demon team with Volcanos here. So like Duchess, Helicath, Volcanos, maybe someone like Kymar or something. So, or Magnar even, like you could make something like that. That's just for fun, but that would be pretty effective too. I see that you built out your Volcanos here and he looks fine. He's in a 1-turn Stone Skin build. So I'm sure that's going to work pretty good for you as well if you want to play around with that. But honestly, like you have a lot of good options here, especially for arena. So you have Odin, Armans for control. You even, like, of course, we all have Alice. You could even bring Alice out, although I would worry about, being able to keep her alive. You have 3 good nukers here, Harima, Rotos, Wukong. Like these are like the staple. Like you got the red, the blue, the green. These are basically like the starter Pokemon, right? But yeah, you got those 3, which is great. You got He-Man, which you can bring as well for like situational use for Stone Skin. You have Odin. Odin's just like a multi-talented champ. He's just insanely good in so many areas. But yeah, he's really good. You can probably use him all the time in arena. You have Duchess for support. You have Ancora as well on deck that you can build. You do have the Mithrala here that can help out as well. And then Tormund for some situations against Arbiter. He's in DPS, which is fine. As long as he counterattacks or something like that, he's going to do a lot of damage. You have the UDK here, which worked. You even have an Uko, which is actually decent as well. Uko, yeah. What I'm seeing is that the gear holding you back, like most of your supports around 220, 230, around there, around 250 or less. Your damage dealer is around 190, 200, which is reasonable, but it's not like top tier arena levels, right? and your arbor is 318 speed. So it's, you know, it's going to be a bit of a grind for the gear, and that's going to elevate up your performance a lot. But you do have, you have pretty good base of champions and options that you can use to build up. But I think you focused a lot on the good champions that you have. So Harima, Rhodos, Wukong, Duchess, Odin. You put your good stuff on those champions, which is good. But I can also tell that you have a lot of champions, and a lot of them are like partially built, not fully booked. For example, this Arman's, he doesn't have masteries, which kind of sucks, right? But yeah, you have a lot of stuff that you have, and not everything's fully built out. So I can see your account is definitely overwhelmed. But hopefully I gave you enough, just enough to like focus on so that you don't get sidetracked. And I think the champions that we talked about are basically champions that you always use in many areas, and they'll always be good, right? You always get value from them, so they are worth finishing off the books, finishing off the masteries and all that. Notice how I didn't really include your mythical champion. Yes, Mesamo is really good, but if you don't have the time or resources to like develop like a 4th, a 5th, or a 6th nuker, you kind of have to just prioritize and put him on the side, right? But I like He-Man as the fourth man out. If you ever get around to building him out, I know it's going to be a grind. You got the books and masteries too, and he's not even 60, but I think he brings an interesting ability to your roster, which is going through Stone Skin. Anyways, hopefully that was enough for this video. We covered a lot. I'm hopeful that some of the stuff I said was helpful for Raftar here. Hopefully the viewers had a good sense of this account and was following along, and maybe they can relate. Maybe they have an account that relates. Generally, I do these takeover reviews with accounts that are more relatable. So here, Raftar definitely, he's been in the game for almost 3 years, but the account is not like, a full-time 3-year-old account. You can kind of tell. But yeah, and I'm sure he's suffering from kind of the same things that a lot of people have. Like, they spent a little bit of money in the game. They got a lot of, cool champions, but they just don't have the other resources, mainly time, to build them out properly, to basically get the max potential out of them. So like I said, Raptor, make sure you craft your instant gear. I guarantee you're going to be able to at least build 1 or 2 more DPS just with these 300 pieces here. Make sure you are on top of this Magi Steel. Grind it down. Get rid of this stuff before it caps out at 1000. Get some perception gear. Perception gear is going to be good for like Odin, for like Armans, anybody that needs accuracy and speed, which is all your debuffers, right? And then that's going to boost up your silver as well. So just yeah, you just got to do it. Those are like the grindy things of the game. I know you don't have space, which is even worse. The lack of space is bad. Wow, you have so much accessory space. I'm super jealous. But yeah, the lack of space is really bad. And make sure you're on top of your inbox so you don't lose any of this stuff, because you got some stuff expiring pretty soon. So anyways, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about Raftar's account. What do you guys think about what I said about it? If you guys have any suggestions for him, that would be helpful as well. I'm sure he'll be reading the comments attentively. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you guys in the next video.